Hello, welcome to a new session of Shulagna's Bioblog. Today I will discuss about analysis of stool. First is routine examination. Physical examination of stool. We will check the color, form, mucus, blood and reaction of the stool. Microscopical examination. In microscopical examination, we will observe the pus cells, RBC, ovum, cyst, parasites, undigested food particles present in stool. And in chemical examination, the occult blood test and reducing sugars are tested whether these are present in stool or not. In physical examination, first we will check the color. The normal color of stool is brown due to the presence of stercobilin. In infants, the color of stool is yellowish green and it is normal for the newborn babies. In abnormality, the color of the stool is pale or colorless. It is due to the absence of stercobilin found in obstructive jaundice and due to increased fat in the stool in defective absorption of the intestine. Sometimes the color of the stool is brownish black or completely black. It is due to iron intake and occult blood in GI bleeding. Next is form. The normal form is semi-solid. Liquid stool in diarrhea caused by parasites or bacteria. For example, rice water stool due to the presence of mucus in the intestine found in cholera. And the causative agent, the bacteria responsible for cholera is Vibrio cholerae. Then mucus. Normally mucus is present in stool. Excessive mucus is present in bacterial and parasitic infection of intestine. Next, blood. In normal stool, blood is absent. Fresh blood is present in parasitic dysentery or bacterial dysentery. Parasitic dysentery is caused by Entamoeba histolytica and bacterial dysentery is caused by gram-negative bacteria such as Salmonella typhosa or Shigella dysentery, etc. Salmonella typhosa causes typhoid and Shigella dysentery causes shigellosis. Colonic cancer also causes fresh blood loss. And this parasitic or bacterial dysentery, in those cases, those parasites and bacteria damages the lining of the cells of small intestine and this causes fresh blood loss. Reaction of the stool, that is pH. Normally the reaction of stool is alkaline. But if it is acidic, then it should be less than 7, and in case of neutral it is 7 to 7.5. If it is alkaline, then it is greater than 7.5. Blue litmus paper turns red in acidic and red litmus paper turns blue in alkaline. Chemical examination, occult blood test or gum-guaic test. The method of the test is smear a small amount of stool onto an absorbent paper. H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, is dropped on the absorbent paper. If very small quantity of blood is present in the specimen, then the absorbent paper is turned blue within 1 to 2 seconds. Principle: the heme part of hemoglobin acts as peroxidase. It catalyzes and releases the oxygen from H2O2, which oxidizes the gum-guaic into blue colored compound. Then the formula: hematine is present in hemoglobin. The hematine reacts with hydrogen peroxide and produces water and oxygen. This oxygen reacts with gum-guaic and a blue colored compound is produced. And if the blue color is produced, then we can say that occult blood is present in the stool sample. It is positive for occult blood test. Then we will observe whether any reducing substance is present in stool or not, and for that purpose 5 ml Benedict solution is taken, and with that 5 ml Benedict solution 0.5 ml of stool suspension is added and mixed properly. Heat the tube. What will be the observation? If color changes, then we can say that reducing substance is present, but if no color change, then reducing substance is not present in the stool sample. Now I will discuss about slide preparation of stool. First one is saline solution. Place 1 drop of saline at the center of the slide. Take small amount of stool with a stick. Mix with the saline and make a smooth suspension. Place a cover slip over the suspension and observe under a microscope at 40x high power microscope. By this technique, we can check the motility of the trophozoites. This test, that means saline solution test, does not reveal so much information about the internal structure of the ova and trophozoites or cysts, because the internal structure is poorly seen. Next is iodine solution. By using iodine solution, for this purpose Gram's iodine or Lugol's iodine solution is used. Take 1 drop of iodine solution at the center of the slide. Take very small amount of stool with a stick. Mix with iodine solution and make a smooth suspension. Place a cover slip over the suspension and observe under 40x high power microscope. It is used to stain protozoa nuclei and intracytoplasmic organelle brown, making them easier to identify. To differentiate cyst, this method is very useful for differentiating cyst from WBC and other cellular debris. Next is 1% eosin solution. Take 1 drop of eosin solution at the center of the slide. Then take a small amount of stool with a stick. Mix with 1% eosin solution and make a smooth suspension. Place a cover slip over the suspension and observe under microscope at 40x, that means high power objective. Now I will discuss about the concentration technique of the stool. It increases the relative number of parasites for scanty infection and reduce the background fecal debris. By this method, we can easily identify different types of trophozoites, cysts and parasites present in stool. It is of 2 types of methods are there. First is sedimentation method and the second one is flotation method. By sedimentation method, we can identify heavy eggs, that means Ascaris egg, operculated eggs, trematodes, larvae such as strong Starcolaris and cysts. And by flotation method, we can identify non-operculated eggs such as trematodes, for example cystosoma, cystode, nematode like hookworm, etc. and cyst. Sedimentation technique is of 3 types. There are 3 types of sedimentation techniques: simple sedimentation, centrifugation sedimentation and formalin ether concentration technique. And flotation method is also 3 types: brine flotation method, sugar flotation method and zinc sulfate flotation method. Now I will discuss the methods of these techniques. First, the saturated solution of common salt. Prepare a saturated solution of common salt by adding normal salt to boiling water. Then take a saturated solution of common salt in a penicillin vial. Take a small portion of stool and mix it with this solution of common salt. Add the solution of common salt to the top of the vial. Then place a slide and keep it for half an hour. Then the slide is turned upside down and observe under microscope at 10x. And we can identify or we can find the ova, oocyst and cysts present in stool. Next I will discuss about zinc sulfate method of the flotation method by zinc sulfate solution. Prepare 33% ZnSO4 solution by adding 33 gram ZnSO4 in 100 ml distilled water. Take a small part of stool in a test tube on a beaker, then mix with water or normal saline. Sieve in a beaker using a strainer containing small holes so that the solid part can be separated from the liquid portion. Then take the content of the beaker in a centrifuge tube. Centrifuge at 2000 to 3000 rpm for 45 to 60 seconds. Then pour off the supernatant and take the deposit in another centrifuge tube and mix with zinc sulfate solution. Centrifuge at 2000 and 3000 rpm, 2000 to 3000 rpm for 1 minute. Then pour off the supernatant, take the deposit in another centrifuge tube and mix with ZnSO4 solution again. Then repeat the centrifugation technique, that means centrifuge at 2000 to 3000 rpm for 1 minute. Then remove the supernatant from the surface and using a bacterial inoculation loop, place a drop at the center of the glass slide. Add 1 drop of normal saline, mix and place a cover slip and observe under microscope using 10x and 40x objective lens. This method is helpful to observe protozoan cyst and helminth egg. Next, I will discuss about formalin ether sedimentation technique. For this technique, first 1.5 gram of stool sample is taken, then dissolve it to 7 ml of 10% formalin solution, filtered through a sieve. Add 3 ml of 99.5% diethyl ether. Centrifuge at 3000 rpm for 1 minute. Top 3 layers of ether is poured off. Then sediment is transferred to the slide and covered with a cover slip. Observe under 10x and 40x microscope objective lens separately. By this technique, we can identify most of the types of worms, eggs such as roundworm, tapeworm, cystosomes and other fluke eggs. Larvae protozoan cysts may be recovered by this technique. Now I will discuss about the microscopical examination of stool. The first one is pus cell. 0 to 5 parcels is normal. Epithelial cell 0 to 4 can be present. RBC should not be present. Normal reference range is nil. Reaction is alkaline. Ova may be present. Parasites may be present. And cyst can also be present. The cyst of Entamoeba histolytica, Entamoeba hartmanni, Entamoeba coli, Iodamoeba boots chili. These cysts may be present. Next is undigested food particles, cellulose. Cellulose are found like skeletal form of the plant cells. They are not digested. They are estimated undigested particles. And cellulose are present like this as the picture. And second one is starch granules. Starch granules are present within the cellulose sac. These are present in large amount in uncooked food. In cooked food, the cellulose wall is destroyed and starch granules come out from the cellulose sac and digested. Starch granules are visible like this. Then is muscle fiber. Muscle fiber derived from meat. Muscle fibers are excreted either completely digested form or partially digested form. When undigested muscle fiber is present in the stool in large amount, it indicates digestive disorder. For example, pancreatic disease. It is important in digestion. And these are the muscle fibers are like this, and nucleus may be present. If we can see this type of cellular structure under microscope, then we can conclude that muscle fibers may be present in the stool. These are also some structures of the undigested food particles, soap plaque, neutral fat, fatty acid crystals. Then I will discuss about the characteristics of some parasites which are present in stool. Those are Entamoeba histolytica, Entamoeba hartmanni, Entamoeba coli and Iodamoeba boots chili. And I will discuss the size, number of nuclei, chromatid bar present in this cyst. These are the characteristic features. First we will observe the size, then number of nuclei, chromatid bar, and according to this number we can Identify the different types of parasite or parasitic cyst present in stool. For Entamoeba histolytica, it is 10 to 20 micrometer in size, and number of nucleus is 4 in mature cyst, 2 in cyst which are not matured. Rod-shaped chromatin bar is present, 1 to 2 in number but absent in mature cyst. For Entamoeba hartmanni, its size is 5 to 10 micrometer. Number of nuclei is same as Entamoeba histolytica, that means 4 in mature cyst, and chromatid bar is also same as Entamoeba histolytica. Then Entamoeba coli, the size is 10 to 35 micron. 8 mature cyst is present, 8 nuclei is present in mature cyst and 2 is present in immature or premature cyst. Chromatin bar is splinter-like, usually absent in mature cyst. And for Iodamoeba butschilli, its size is 10 to 20 micron. 1 nucleus is present. Chromatid bar is not at all present in Iodamoeba butschilli. And these are the very important characteristic features. Now I will discuss about the microbiological examination of stool. What different types of microorganisms present in stool? Organisms present in stool that are cyst, which can be present in cyst form, Iodamoeba butschilli. Type non-pathogenic, microscopical observation, size 3 to 10 micrometer, shape round or oval, nucleus single, membrane cannot be seen, karyosome oval or very large, vacuole very large. Giardia lamblia, pathogenic, size 8 to 12 micrometer, shape oval, appearance with a double wall, one pole is more rounded than other, nuclei 2 to 4 oval, membrane very fine, karyosome central small, cytoplasm refractile, clear and pale yellow when stained with iodine solution. The third one is Balanterium coli. It is pathogenic, size 50 to 70 micrometer, shape round, shell thin double walled, nuclei kidney shaped. One thin dot is present near nucleus. Cytoplasm is granular and filled with inclusion bodies. Next is Entamoeba histolytica. It is present in vegetative form. It is also pathogenic, size 12 to 35 micrometer, shape round when not moving, elongated when moving, nuclei stained dark with a dot like karyosome in iodine solution. Cytoplasm known as ectoplasm, it is transparent endoplasm. Motility, that means they can moves in one direction. Next is Entamoeba coli. It is also present in vegetative form, and Entamoeba coli is non-pathogenic. Size 20 to 40 micrometer, shape oval or elongated, nuclei visible with large karyosome. Cytoplasm, both ectoplasm and endoplasm are granular. Motility often motile, inclusion body several are present. Several inclusion bodies are present. Then Nemathelminthes. In this class, Enterobius vermicularis or pinworm. This is pathogenic. Microscopical observation, size 50 to 60 micrometer, shape oval asymmetric, shell smooth, thin, double-lined, content small granules, embryo curled up larvae are present. Color, these are transparent or colorless. Next one is Trichuris trichuria. It is also a pathogenic strain. Microscopical observation, size is about 50 micrometer, shape barrel type, shell thick, smooth, two-layered, content uniform, granular mass. Other features, at each pole a rounded transparent plug is present. Next one is Ascaris lumbricoides. It is also pathogenic in nature. Fertilized egg without double shell. Ascaris lumbricoides can be divided into some categories. The first category is fertilized egg without double shell. Its shape is oval, size about 70 micrometer, shell external, rough brown, covered with little lump, internal smooth, thick and colorless. The color of the external shell is brown. The second category is unfertilized egg without double shell. Its shape is elliptical, elongated, size 80 to 90 micrometer. External shell is brown in color and internal shell is very thin. Content full of round refractile granules. The third category is semi-fertilized egg without external shell. Shell is single, thick, colorless. Content round, colorless, granular central mass. Next organism is Ancylostoma duodenal. It is a hookworm. It is also pathogenic in nature. Its ova are present in stool. Size about 50 to 60 micrometer. Shape oval with flat plate. Shell very thin. Color, the inside is dark brown when stained with iodine solution. Content varies according to maturity. 4 cells may be present. After nematode, we will discuss about trematodes. In this class, Schistosoma hematobium is present. It is pathogenic. Ova, eggs are present, found in urine. Size 120 to 150 micrometer. It is tapered ended. Shape is spindle shaped. Content ciliated embryo with depressions. Schistosoma mansoni. It is also pathogenic. Size 150 micrometer. Shape oval, one pole round, and it is triangular shaped. The end is triangular shaped. Shell smooth, thin, color pale yellow. Content is broad ciliated embryo. The next organism is Schistosoma japonicum. It is also pathogenic. Size 70 to 80 micrometer. Shape oval, round, color pale yellow. Content broad ciliated embryo, and the end is lateral, small. Next is adult worm found in stool. Large round worm. Ascaris lumbricoides. It is pathogenic. Its color is pinkish white. Thickness 0.3 to 0.5 centimeter. Length about 15 centimeter for male and about 20 to 25 centimeter in female. Pinworm. These are small round worm. These are also pathogenic. Color is white. Length 0.5 centimeter for male and 1 centimeter for female, and female are pointed tailed. Next is tapeworm. These are also pathogenic. Tapeworm may be Tinea saginata, that is beef tapeworm, and the body is segmented. Their body is segmented, singular, rectangular, pores, irregular alteration. Uterine branches about 20. 4 suckers are present. And the last one is Tinea solium. This is pork tapeworm. This is also pathogenic in nature. Small chain of 3 to 4 segments are like small chains of 3 to 4. Rectangular. Pores are present at regular alteration. Uterine branches 10. Sucker 4. Hooklet, 2 crowns of hooklets are present.